Okay, I don't know what else to call this. Welcome to Slender Man movie review. Now, as of recording this, not even an hour ago, I have watched the Slender Man, or Slender, or I forgot what the movie's called already. Fuck! But that's besides the point. I am gonna be reviewing the movie. I'm gonna be talking about the highlights, what's good, what's bad, what was fucking amazing, my favorite character, blah blah blah. Hopefully within the span of 15 minutes, because that's all the footage of Slender the Arrival I have. Otherwise, you're going to see Friday the 13th and Dead by Daylight footage. But that's besides the point. Now, be warned. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. There are spoilers in this. If you don't want spoilers, if you hope to God something happens and you don't want to find out if it does or not, don't watch this video. Or at least, don't watch the very end where I give my conclusion. I guess. I don't know, we'll see how this goes, but there's your warning, like it or not. Now, I'm gonna be honest here. The characters, you know what, we're not gonna talk about the characters yet. Let's talk about the overall plot. Now, these group of 4 girls, one night while they are at a sleepover or something like that, it's kind of like a little get-together, they watch these videos about Slender Man. Well, rather, they watched it because they heard the guys were going to try and summon him. Their boyfriends or significant others, whatever you want to call them. We don't get much look into the guys, I'm going to say that right now. But that's what they do. They heard the guys are going to try to summon him, so they're going to watch tutorials on how to summon him, and then they're going to try and summon him. Big mistake. Big fucking mistake, as always. Now, going on from that point, they obviously do successfully summon Slender Man, otherwise there wouldn't be a movie. But I want to talk about this, like the video. I unfortunately don't have any footage of the Slender Man, and I can't upload footage to SHAREfactory for some reason. Just won't let me, it never works. I wanted to upload footage of the movie and put the trailers together, and me just talk over the trailers, but that's not happening. But you see, what the the video they watch on how to summon Slender Man, it's kind of Illuminati-esque, I guess would be the best way to put it. Now, it's obviously spooky. It gets you in the mood for how the rest of the movie's gonna go. And the movie's like... Not the movie. The video they watch in the movie on how to summon him is like 2 minutes long, I want to say. It's like 2 minutes long. It's not that long. Doesn't take up any significant part of the runtime. But they do go back to the video a lot. And like reference to it. They don't physically go back and watch the video, ever. But gets you in the mood for how this movie is gonna be. Now, I'm not sure. I can't really think of words to describe what happens. After they all watch it, they seemingly fall asleep, I assume. Or, I don't know. You see, it cuts to the girl. The main character, I believe her name was Fuck. But no, anyway, it cuts to the main character whose name I forget. These were all very forgettable characters. There's only one I remember, and that's Ren, and she's not the main character, but more like the secondary character. That's why I should say. But anyway. So anyway, the main character whose name I forget, like, has a nightmare, like, after they summon him. She thinks, what did we just do? We're stupid. There's no way in hell that this is gonna work. But, okay, but going off that, sorry, there's going to be a lot of cuts here, because my friend's trying to text me while I'm recording a video. But anyway, we go on from there after the nightmare. She thinks blah, blah, blah. I just already went over that. So, we cut back to the next day at school, and everyone's on a field trip. Now, they're on a field trip, and the girl whose name I believe is Lizzie, she's a very forgettable character, like I said. Ren is the only character I truly remember from the movie, whose name... They don't bring up their names a lot, but they do focus a lot on Ren because she has the most visions, but we're not there at that point yet. So, Izzy goes off and she like sees something and she just wanders off. I don't know how else to put that. She just wanders off for obvious reasons. Slender Man. Okay, I said it's Slender Man. I can't lead any illusion here. This is a movie review. And this part really has you kind of intrigued, really. When I saw this part in the movie theater, I'm like, what? Huh? It's like, it's intriguing because it wasn't even it's not even a full day after, or at least what they lead you to believe, it wasn't a full day after they had summoned Slender Man, and already he's after him. Like, I know that's kind of how Slender works, but I thought they would give it a little bit moment, give him some time to be like, we didn't summon him. Which is a ballsy move in my opinion, because they're already revealing, oh, Slender Man's after you. Now, the movie is about an hour, 45 minutes long, so we have a lot to go over. So I'm going to save my ass right now. Okay, so the girl goes missing because she wanders off, and this is like a field trip. This is public, so Slender Man is clearly not playing around. He's not playing the game. He's not going after them when they're alone. He's willingly going after them and spooking them when they're in public places, which I like, because in every other depiction of Slender Man, he waits to, like, in either a solid group or separated. So I like that. It adds more to the villain here. I wouldn't go as far as to call Slender Man the villain, because we're gonna get to some here. But they go missing. Well, she goes missing. I can't say that yet. Surprise. But overall, that part of the movie was okay. I don't like how they did it, though, because she just wanders off. They don't add anything to it. There's no emphasis. She doesn't see Slender Man. We don't even see so much as a single tentacle or tree branch. Yeah, they kind of turned Slender Man into a tree. Yeah, I'll give you a second to absorb that feeling here. But anyway, he kidnaps the girl, takes her, absorbs her. We don't know what he does till the very end of the movie. Going off of her getting kidnapped, it cuts to them being like, where the fuck did she go? What happened to her? They don't know what happened to her, obviously. They don't suspect Slender Man yet. Ren, however, immediately suspects Slender when she doesn't come back home that night. This wasn't like a prank gone wrong. It was Slender. After this, there's this whole short scene where they're like, what happened? Where'd she go? You know, the normal thing when someone goes missing in a movie of any kind. And after that, Ren does some research. After chatting with the girl online, it says they gotta sacrifice something they love. They each bring an item of value, and that's it. They bring an item of value, they go into the forest, they sacrifice it, and they have to do like this weird ritual thing. Now, this ritual, I don't really understand what all happens here, but essentially, they put on blindfolds and wait for Slender Man to come, take their offering in hopes that their friend will come back, which is essentially what she learned by her research online. Now, while doing this, one of the girls panics because she starts to hear Slender. She doesn't hear his voice, she doesn't hear anything like that. And overall, this part is probably one of the highlights of the movie. This is one of the highs of the movie, and there's 3 highs in this movie, but so yeah, overall, that's what happens. The girl freaks out, she pulls off her blindfold, and she goes running. Now, during this, she runs into Slender while running. She literally bumps into him and goes flying backwards. It's the black girl. The black girl is very forgettable. Obviously, black people die during the horror movie. Surprise. Okay, she goes backward, bumps into him, flies back, blah, 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 blah. I hate doing cuts. Stopping in a video, I like doing one long run, but my friend won't stop fucking texting me. Okay, we'll push through this shitty review. But anyway, after that, Ren thoroughly believes now that it's Slender Man, but the rest of the girls don't. Even Chloe, the black girl, doesn't think that, you know, there's Slender Man. She's like, and the other girl, the main character, Ilya, I think. Izzy? I can't remember her name. She's such a shitty character. If you could get past the main character, the movie's good. Long story short. But, yeah, like, she believes that there's no Slender Man. Chloe doesn't know what she saw. And Ren is like, oh my god, guys, it's Slender Man. Woohoo, fangirl the fuck out. But, with that being said, they go home, and you would think everything goes normal, but the girls all have these weird visions, I think. I'm not really sure what they are. And it's kind of freaky, kind of not, but Chloe, no surprise, doesn't show up to school next day. Now she's normal. She hasn't been killed. She's just broken because Slender Man, the night before they go home, breaks into her house. Well, I guess he doesn't break in as, you know, nothing. The guy can't break in. He can just phase through walls, become shadows. The Slender stuff. But he does that, and that's really all there is to it for that scene anyway. She's just broken. She's a broken person. They later come across her house and are like, what? Huh? But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself now. Earlier on in the movie by this point, I forgot to talk about this. My apologies. Forget that. Guys, just keep in mind this is earlier on a little bit after their friend Lizzie, there we go, Lizzie gets kidnapped by Slender. They go to her house, they go through, they rummage through her stuff, they find her laptop, and then they go through it, and they meet this person called Emily 6996, something like that. It's an important aspect of the movie, but there's nothing more to say with it. But anyway, so they take the laptop. They found out how to bring her back, which doesn't work, obviously. No one should be shocked by that. But moving on from the latest scene, which is Chloe being mind broken by Slender. It's like they don't know what to do. Ren goes to the not. Oh my God, I'm brain farting here. But Ren goes to the library to find what, what is the Slender, first off, because apparently she doesn't have a laptop at home or anything. She does research on the Slender, how Slender does what he does, but it's not enough, at least for the main character, because after she gets what she needs to know, Slender Man messes with her. Like, seriously, messes with her. She's having headaches, she is seeing things, she's imagining things, she's going straight up delusional. And yes, that is repeating footage because I was too lazy to take footage from other horror-based stuff I have done. But yeah, and there was a scene in the library where Ren gets her face covered up with Slender Man's, and it kind of was freaky as all fucking hell. Like, at first I was like, that's weak, but the actors, although the characters are forgettable, the actors did an amazing job. But long story short, after that she has her face covered up, and she doesn't get captured at all by Slender Man until the very end, until the final battle between the final girl and Slender Man. And I hate to break it to you, but the girl doesn't win. Now the rest of the movie you can kind of forget because it's just Slender Man messing with them from that point on, and there's only so much detail you can get into that. But there is one part where she's like having a nightmare and she is in the bathroom throwing up, well, gagging. She was apparently supposed to throw up, but she didn't, and her belly like expands almost as if she's pregnant, and Slender Man's tentacles just come bursting out and like kill her. But I say kill her very loosely because she wakes up the next morning to find that her little sister is having a panic attack. I'm not really going to talk too much about that because you just need to watch it to be like, to believe it, because it's amazing. Like, it's amazing. This movie overall was good, but here's the spoiler alert. Here's the big spoiler alert. This is the biggie oof right here. If you don't not watch this part of the video from now on, the ending will officially be spoiled, because the rest stuff you can forget about. You can watch the movie, be fully immersed, but this part, if I break it up to you, you're not going to be able to watch it properly. But anyway, getting into it, like, the ending is kind of amazing because she goes in, tries to find Slender Man in the woods after her sister has been fully absorbed. I say absorbed loosely because she's not absorbed by Slender Man like the other girls were. She's just lost her mind there. She's having visions, dreams, nightmares, hallucinations. She's screaming like at the top of her lungs at one point, "He has no face! He has no face!" And it's kind of awesome, yet kind of a, really, Slender? This is what you do in your spare time? Fucking with little girls? But moving on from that, then she goes in the woods to find Slender Man and try to get him to stop messing with her sister, her little sister, her, I believe, 13-year-old sister. I believe the other girl's around 16, 17. Which is fair. They never go into ages, really, but you can assume they're 17, 18, 16, whatever. So from that point, she goes in the woods, tries to find Slender. She finds him! And I think this was a screw-up with the actress, but she says, "Take me," only to run away from Slender, which I'm not a big fan of, but overall, after that, Slender obviously catches her and absorbs her into this tree. Now, words can't describe the amazing effects done at that part. You're just going to have to watch it yourself if you didn't mind the fact that I just spoiled the movie. So, what overall rating can I give the movie? I just gave a brief breakdown of the movie. I got into all the key parts. What would I give the movie? Now, before overall, I give it a rating from 1 to 10, 0 to 10, blah, blah, blah. I feel like I should get into the key parts, what I really liked, what I didn't like. Now, what I didn't like overall, and this is my only complaint, was how forgettable the characters were. We were never focused on all the characters enough, especially Izzy, who just gets kidnapped right away. We don't learn much other than she's a friend, the fourth friend in this fourth group of four. Group of five if you count the sister, but the sister isn't really important. So that's the only thing I didn't like. What I also didn't like is there's this ominous feeling from the very beginning. We don't get a chance to, like, get to know the surroundings. We don't get a chance to get a brief explanation of who they are. They just throw us into the horror aspect with the creepy music, which can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. I don't know how else to say it. But moving on, I do really like the Slender Man. I'm kind of iffy on him being portrayed as a tree person. I say tree person very lightly because he's among the trees. There is no Slender Mansion. There is no Slender Church. It's just he's among the trees, among the hidden, and he will get you if you summon him. That's really all there is to it when it comes to him. He has no motive other than that. For those of you who don't know, the creepypasta Slender Man mythos. And what I like is this feels like an expansion on the mythos. But before we get into why I say it's an expansion, not a direct rip of anything, let's talk about the Slender Man costume now. The Slender Man costume is a mix of CGI and practical effects. I would prefer all practical effects, but when you have a movie like this, some things need to be CGI, and I fully accept that. I understand that. The Slender suit and the costume is full practical effects. It's practical effects, and it's very, very, very good practical effects. You just need to watch the movie to believe it yourself, because honestly, I thought this was going to be all CG, and I thought it was going to be horrible, but there's actually a guy in the costume. I don't know who plays him, unfortunately. He wasn't mentioned in the credits anywhere. Or either that or I was just too impatient to read all the credits. Because this guy sells the part. He really does. As much as you could sell, like, a man who doesn't speak with no face. But Slender is terrifying. The suit, everything, practical effects, the tentacles, tree branches, shit. It is CGI, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but I understand it needs to have that effect. It needs to have that creepy effect. For example, the Venom suit in Venom is obviously all CGI, so I gotta cut Slender Man a break here. Moving on from that, my favorite character, who is the best character in the film if you ask me, because she is fully aware of the situation, which is very rare in horror movies and movies in general. Just people aren't aware enough, and that would be Rem, whatever. I think her name is Ren. Shit, I might have been calling her the wrong name the whole time. Let's just call her the punk girl. But the punk girl was awesome. As, she was a punk girl. That's cool. And she was self-aware of the whole situation. She was the only person who actively went out to try and stop Slender. And I can appreciate that in a horror movie, having that one self-aware character. Now, talking about the main character, she is iffy. You're gonna either completely like her or you're gonna hate her. I personally didn't like her. I wouldn't say I hated her, but I didn't like her. Mostly because she's your average girl. Like, she doesn't want to believe Slender Man's out there, and all she knows and thinks is, up until the very end, that it's just some creep pulling a prank on them, which kind of disturbs me greatly, because one friend is mind broken, the other friend is kidnapped, and your sister is, up until the sister gets affected by Slender, that nothing changes, which is kind of pathetic if you ask me in a character. But I could ramble on and on about the characters. Every scene where Slender messes with them is amazing. It is breathtaking, and some parts legitimately had me scared for the characters, especially the end. I knew, like, Slender was gonna get the girls, all of them, except the sister. Sister survives, which is a fun fact, which is why I think there's going to be a sequel to this movie, and I hope there's a sequel. But overall, all things considered, I would give Slender Man a solid 8 out of 10. Now, you may be wondering why an 8 out of 10, but when you really think of it all, yes, it is an amazing horror movie. It's suspense. I want to say for horror, it is light horror. But when Slender Man is on screen, it kicks major ass. There are very few horror movies that can hold up to suspense factors, and it is amazing. That's all I can give it. So 8 out of 10 is my rating. Guys, if you want more movie reviews, I want you to leave a like, comment, leave a dislike, because that just makes me want to do it more just to agitate people. And overall, I will see you motherfuckers in the next video. Peace out, be good people, and whatever you do, don't go into the woods.